Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl Morgan Tracy J, coming today with the Women's Wednesday chat, you guys. Before we get started though, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube family and you check me out at my blog, hisdaughterscloset.com. Well, ladies, I don't know if you know this, and if some of you are new here, then you don't know this, but for years ago, I would do the Women's Wednesday chat. I started that in college, where every Wednesday I would show up here on my YouTube channel, and I would answer any questions I got from you guys. But really, guys, I was just like making up questions because I didn't even have an audience, really. So I would just be like, how to grow in your faith, or struggling with your purity in college. Like, I would just make up questions, and now I don't have to do that anymore. I have so many questions from you guys, specifically questions about ministry. I get questions from you guys on a daily. I get DMs and all about how to start ministries, how to run ministries. How did you start YouTube? How did you start blogging? How did you get it off the ground? How did you know what to do? How did you know you were called to this? I get so many questions like that on a daily, and it's always so repetitive sometimes trying to answer. So what I decided to do is start this series right here, again, Women's Wednesday, and I'm just going to answer those questions you have all about ministry, business, and stepping into your calling and purpose, okay? So I'm so excited about this series because you guys know I love purpose and all that. So I'm so excited to tell you how to get started. Well, guys, this video actually comes with a free resource. It's on how to start your ministry with no money. If you have not got that resource, you can click the link in the description box and get it below and get all the tips on how I got started with no money on my ministry. All right, guys, so the very first thing is starting your ministry. Guys, first thing is you got to be willing to get out of the walls of what you think ministry is. I was like this in the beginning, where I honestly just thought that ministry was connected to the pulpit. This was something I told myself. This is something I had only seen. And so when God was calling me to like do ministry online and stuff, it just felt so weird back in like 2015, 2016. But now, years later, I'm so grateful I followed the prompting of God and realized that the ministry does go beyond the walls of the church. And also, too, don't limit yourself to thinking it's not ministry because it doesn't look like others. So the nurse, the teacher, the blogger, the YouTuber, the online boutique owner, that is your ministry. If God has been calling you to that, that is your ministry. And don't think, oh, no, only when I'm working in the church, that is my ministry. But this is just a side gig. No, but that is your ministry. When God calls you to live this life and walk in your purpose, and that calling on you, you desire something, you have this idea, and you know God is calling you and prompting you to do that, that is your ministry, okay? So no matter what idea it is, that can be your ministry. So don't limit that. Don't limit your ministry just to a church house. Don't limit it just to the pulpit. It's beyond that. And now with social media, we can post something in Oklahoma like I do every day, and a girl across the world can still get inspired by that. And that, to me, is impactful ministry. The next thing is you got to get content with the season that you're in, okay? This right here sounds crazy because you're like, but I'm like a college student, or like I'm a busy mom. How do I be content? There's so much more I want to do, so much more I want to attain. And I get it because I've been there. But what I've learned with my ministry, even when I was in college and didn't even really know how to build this thing, the thing that blessed me the most was I realized the season I was in was specific for me. Like, I was meant to go through those seasons of not really knowing a lot, starting with zero, starting at the very beginning, nobody reading my content, no one watching my videos. The reason I needed to start there was why? Because God had to build me up in it. I call it like being in your land. Every season of life, we go to new territory, we get new land. But you never want to skip a certain area of land, because while you're working on that land, God is doing something new in you. He's building new wisdom. He's building new things inside of you. So when I was in college and I was starting the foundational things of my ministry, not even realizing it, God was building some things inside of me. When I transitioned out of college and was stuck living with my parents and felt so lost, God was still building things there that season. So I want to encourage you to be content with the land you're on. So don't look at my land or anyone else's land and say, I can't wait to get there. Say, okay, hey, I see some land ahead of me, but the land I'm on today, I'm going to learn what God has for me in this season, because this right here is the foundational practices I need to make sure my ministry flourishes. I want to tell you guys, it was the lessons I learned in college. It was hosting Bible studies in college. It was the jobs I had that have really turned into helping my ministry really grow. It was lessons I learned on leadership and also on, conflict management that has helped my ministry flourish. So don't neglect those seasons of things you think, oh, this is pointless. No, God can use it all, and he will use it all. So that is another tip. And another tip though, guys, I have to say, and this is something that is groundbreaking that I I didn't know it was going to be all this, but I'm so glad I followed the prompting of the Lord. But in college, when I started wanting to do my ministry, I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about ministry. Didn't even know where to start. But I challenged myself to do one thing a day towards my dream. That was just do one thing a day toward your dream. If it's just think about it, if it's journal about it, if it's research how to design a website, if it's research what ministry looks like, if it's signing up to a new ministry email list and just like looking at their content and seeing how they do it. Literally, guys, I did this for years. All I did was do one thing a day. Literally, when I was in college, I didn't have the luxury of doing it all day like I do today. So I had to do just one thing a day until I could get to where I am today. And I want to tell you, if you're the busy mom, if you're the woman who feels like you just don't have a lot of time, challenge yourself to do one thing a day towards your dream. And it can be something so little as journaling. It can be something so little as brainstorming. But what I learned from me and what I started to see over time was that it became habit. So I would be sitting on my bed, getting comfortable for the night, and then it'd be like, you didn't do anything today. It'd be like, oh crap. Okay, hold on. Let me sit down and write up some blog ideas. Let me write out some YouTube ideas. Guys, this is before I even had an audience, okay? It's before I even had a ministry. So doing one thing a day is what has led me here. Now I do it all day, every day. But it has been such a blessing to start with just one thing a day. And I will say, guys, this is something that is so overwhelming when I think about it. But today, the ministry is not everything I have seen for it to be. But I'm so content because it is that dream. It's so much bigger than what I was expecting. And it has grown into something that I'm so honored to run. And I'm so honored to just be able to do on a daily basis and do it full time. Like, it has turned into something beautiful. And so it's just like, it's a lot of work, I'm not going to lie. But it's my purpose. And so it's not the same thing as going to my old jobs, right? It was like I was there and I couldn't wait to get home to do what I do now. Now I do it all day. And so it's just such a blessing. And I will say, starting my ministry and going this route, I could have went any other route. I could have did I had all these other ideas before I started my ministry, like beauty guru, natural hairista, fashionista. I had all these other ideas and I didn't know it was going to be a ministry. But when I got clarity from God about this ministry, I just knew this was for me. I just knew this was it. And I just knew in my heart and I ran with it. I didn't look back. I was a little nervous at times when my mom would talk about it to people. I'd be like, no, don't tell no one, because no one even knew about it. It was just growing. And it was like me and my mama reading stuff. So she would be like, yeah, Morgan's got a ministry. And people be like, you do? And it'd be like, Mom, me and you are the only two in this ministry right now. But, I'm so grateful for those seasons, because that gave me the confidence I needed to get to where I am today. Now it's a lot easier because there's so many of you guys, but at one time it wasn't. And so running this ministry and running this business ministry, a nonprofit corporation, whatever you want to call it, it has opened up so many doors and it has blessed me so much. I am so ecstatic to even be doing this full time. I'm so ecstatic to remember dreaming about doing this full time, and now I'm doing this, and I've been doing it for 8 months, and it has been so beautiful. And I'm gonna cry thinking about it, but it's just been so beautiful, and I'm so grateful. And I hope that this video really inspires you, that if you're someone looking into ministry, that you go for it, boo. You try it out. And, whatever your vision is, go for it. No one is going to make it for you. No one is going to just hand you your dream. No one's going to just say, here you go. God gives you the idea, but you've got to start working towards it. And so try that one thing a day, because I think that right there is what's going to get you closer and closer to it. And before you know it, you're going to do 3 things a day. And then it's 5 things a day. And then before you know it, you're starting to say, hey, it's about time for me to leave my job. It's time for me this is my job. It's time for me to go full time. You're going to be on your own journey of it. And so that's just what I want to encourage you with today. And I'm so grateful to have this ministry, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this full time. And that's all through the grace of God. And so if you're someone who's interested in ministry, I want you to click the link in the description box below. I have a free guide for you on how to start a ministry with no money, and how I got started and how you can get started too. Well, ladies, make sure you comment down below your biggest takeaway. And if you have any advice for somebody else, go ahead and comment that down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, ladies. Bye.